everyone, I'm Disha Gupta and welcome back to the Nerdy Bookworm. So, these days, a lot of discussions are going on about the falling economy and everything. So, today we are going to discuss about a concept called Buddhist economics. It was introduced by E.F. Schumacher in his very famous book Small is Beautiful. So I hope it will be useful to you and I hope you will like it. And if you do not forget to like my video and subscribe to my channel. Let's begin.
As per E. F. Schumacher in his famous collection of essays, Small is Beautiful, the keynote of Buddhist economists is simplicity and non-violence. For the modern economist, this is very difficult to understand. He is used to measuring the standard of living by the amount of annual consumption, assuming all the time that a man who consumes more is better off than a man who consumes less. A Buddhist economist would consider this approach excessively irrational, since consumption is merely a means to human well-being and the aim should be to obtain the maximum well-being with minimum consumption. Now, what does this mean? In Buddhism, we have a noble eightfold path which is seen as a way of living by its followers. A part of this noble path is the right livelihood, which gives rise to Buddhist economics. It is known to everyone that the most basic prerequisite for any production, for any source of income, for any wealth is human labor. In a modern economy where the employer tries to cut costs at every turn he can, he sees this human labor as a necessary evil. He will try to minimize or eliminate the cost if he can by various means, especially by automation. If we see the same situation from the point of view of the employee, he sees the work as the sacrifice of his leisure hours and his comfort in compensation to which he gets wages. Thus, in an ideal world, the employer would want to have the maximum output with the minimum or no employees, and the employee would have an income without sacrificing his leisure. The Buddhist economics stand in contrast to this modern view of economics. It gives a threefold function to work. First, to give man a chance to utilize and develop his faculties. Second, to enable him to overcome his ego-centeredness by joining with other people in a common task. Third, to bring forth the goods and services needed for a becoming existence. The mechanization should be done to assist the workman in his work and not to make him a slave of automation, as due to it the man will not only lose his income but also his character. According to Buddhist economics, work doesn't only help man in earning wages but also builds his character. Unlike the modern approach, it doesn't separate the metaphysics from economics. It considers such metaphysical ignorance as the reason for man's estrangement and detachment from other humans, while attachment towards only the reward. A Buddhist economist would work in opposite direction of a modern economist. He would focus on employment for all rather than production for all. It seems uneconomical at first, but it is what is needed for living in a peaceful economy. He doesn't measure the well-doing of an economy in the terms of consumption, but as the standard of living. He doesn't focus on the quantitative measure but on the qualitative aspects of the living. For him, consuming more than necessary is wasteful. For example, the purpose of clothes to maintain a comfortable body temperature and look decent. This purpose can be achieved by minimal efforts, so anything that is consumed more than that is wasteful. And it is not necessary. If we consume more than we need, it simply leads to more exploitation of the resources, which in this case is cloth. The Buddhist economics focuses on non-violence against earth and against other human beings. As we exploit the non-renewable sources of energy, especially fossil fuels, these conflicts just keep on increasing. For example, the international conflicts on oil prices and reserves. Such resources should be replaced with renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and hydroenergy. This should not be looked at just as a spiritual value, but also as a base of economic growth as it pertains to finding the right path of development, a kind of middle way between materialism and metaphysics in search of finding the right livelihood.
Thank you for watching the video, and if you liked it, do not forget to share it with your friends and like it. Thank you.